Hey there and welcome back. It was a good weather day today. Took out the Sonic High Wing for what I call a flight test. The first and second maiden flights were just too windy of a day to do anything really good for testing the flying. Um, so the Sonic High Wing flew 7 times today. Um, and The first 4 flights were with the prop on it that I had before, the 9.6 prop. Uh, After that, the takeoff with the 9.6 prop was a little slow. Okay, it took off, but it took a while to build up speed, and if you pulled it off too quickly, it would wobble, stall a little, and so you had to be careful taking off. So after the 4th flight and testing, the first 4 flights were good in the sense that once you took off, it worked well. I did several maneuvers, vertical climb maneuvers. One of those I tested full with 13-minute flight. I also did stalls and slow flight and lots of landings and touch and goes and so forth. So those first 4 flights went well. The 5th flight was with the 10.5 prop, and the first flight didn't go very well because I still had the mixture too rich. Brought it back, tuned up the needle valve, turned it all the way till it was the engine at full power, turned it all the way till it leaned out, meaning it started to sag or start to quit, and you back it back out till it's just at the right point where it's not too lean, not too rich. And once it did that, that 5th flight went very, very well. Took off very quickly, had a lot more power and zip, and there was no hesitation. It could climb right out on takeoff. And then so what's the film you're going to see next is flight number 5. I'm sorry, flight number 6, okay, in which it was a short flight. Didn't have the first 4 or 5 flights. I didn't have a good person around for a cameraman. And plus there was such a good day at the field, there was airplanes all over the place. We probably had 10 to 15 pilots there today. Later on in the afternoon, a lot of the pilots cleared out, and so I had some time with one of the pilots remaining willing to be my cameraman. And he did a real good job, by the way. His name's Bill, and he did a real good job with this camera, and very good job with the following me around the pattern. So I'll let you see the film now, and then after the film I've got a couple more comments about what you just saw. So I'll be right back after the film. Okay, so this is the flight test of the Sonic. I have put the 10.5 prop on it, and it flies a whole lot better, but when I put the 10.5 prop on, it required to reset the needle valve to be a lot leaner. Okay, so watch the takeoff. The takeoff is going to be a whole lot smoother and with a somewhat more power.
Flight pack 6.0 volts.
It climbs out better than the 9.6 prop. That's full power, full speed. I'm going to do a low flyby. That's full power, full speed. Okay, now for cruising with this prop, it's about 40%, less than half, and it flies very nicely. That's less than half. It'll fly all day long and fly for the
I flew 13 minutes on the previous flight, and it had a third of a tank left. So that looks good.
Flight pack 6.2 volts. Time remaining 12 minutes. High rate.
I'm going to high rates. Going to do a roll and a loop. So that's it does a whole on high rates. It does a very good job to with simple aerobatics so far.
Flight pack 6.2 volts.
All right, I'm gonna. You see me? You got me? Okay. I'm gonna come in and do a landing, and then a takeoff.
Flight pack
Okay, you got me?
0.1 volts. Time remaining
All right.
11 minutes.
Another takeoff, and then we'll do a full stop landing. Much better climb out than with the 9.6 prop. This 10.5 prop, as long as you've leaned the needle valve out, it does very well. Okay, full stop.
Flight pack 6.1 volts.
I'll accept that landing. You have to turn it slowly on the ground, otherwise it does kick over, and so do slow, wide turns on the ground. Otherwise you're going to strike the prop and kill the motor.
Flight pack 6.1 volts. Time remaining 10 minutes. Throttle cut.
Okay, what you saw in the video was the airplane performing very well. A couple comments. First off, the 10-ounce tank and this small engine allows you to fly a good length of time. It could probably fly 20 minutes and not be low on gas. But I recommend the timer setting of 13 minutes, and when it gets to 13 minutes, land, and you'll still have a third of a tank left. I did that twice and it worked well. Once you put on the 10.5 prop, you're going to have to work a bit to get the needle valve right. Took me 3 or 4 tries to get it right, because you got to, at 100% power, lean it till it sags, come back about a quarter of a turn, and still with it at 100%. Sometimes it's good to pull it to idle and back to 100% during that process. Holding it vertically, make sure it at least 4, 5, 8 seconds sometimes, just to make sure it's not going to sag. If it does sag, put it back down, a couple of clicks, put it back up, put it back down, so that it doesn't sag, and you're sure it's not going to sag when it's vertical. Then you're at the right richness. So you got to do that, and then you got to make sure that the needle valve is good, because once the needle valve is good, then you get all the power out of that prop. It can't be too lean, can't be too rich. So hope you've enjoyed this series of videos, and stay tuned for future videos, including the Sonic Low Wing will be coming up. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for future series of videos on nitro powered airplanes.